Hello, I'm the Arizona Silverback, and today we're going to talk about hygiene. Are you clean enough for the gym? Let's talk about it. Hello. So, welcome. You want to talk about hygiene just a little bit. One of my subscribers, Baro, brought it up, and I really think it's an important thing that people don't know about. So, let's just get right to it. First off, don't train stinky. Don't be the stinky guy. Don't have the stinky gi. Don't be that guy. And the reason is because you're working so closely with other people. It's not really, I don't want to say fair to them, but it's not really acceptable to be that guy. When you're in such close proximity, bad odors or lack of hygiene can also not just be for like the sense of smell, but it also can cause a lot of skin irritations and damage. For instance, fungus, ringworm. If you're not cleaning your gi and it's damp and you put it back on, you have impetigo, which is a skin condition. You can get MRSA. There's a lot of different things that not just on the smelling side, but on the health side to being clean. All right, so first off, let's talk about gi. As soon as you use your gi, I would say take it home and wash it. Now, most gis, the care for most gis is cold water. You're gonna wanna wash your gi in cold water. And then what you're gonna do is usually you wanna hang dry them because the gis shrink depending on the fiber it's made out of. But I would say hang dry is a good option. Now, when I lived in Seattle, I couldn't hang dry my gi, so I always bought them a little big to dry them afterwards because in Seattle they would actually start to mold because they never dry. It was so humid there all the time. So the gi's out of the way. Now, if it starts to smell, whether it's your gi, your rash guard, or your shorts, what you can use white vinegar. White vinegar usually kills odor. So I would use and it's really important to do jiu-jitsu. Not that you have to, but it's really important that you buy like a Tide with no scent or like a scentless type of laundry detergent because some of your partners could be allergic to the laundry detergent. So it's a really good thing to know. And this isn't just for jiu-jitsu, this is for pretty much all martial arts that you have close contact, like judo, wrestling, MMA. Everything that I use, I make sure that there's no the detergent I use is going to be good for sensitive skin because I don't want to affect other people. Okay, another thing I'd like to talk about is nails. Now, it doesn't seem like that big of a deal, but I have scars up and down my hands, some on my face, some on my legs, all just from people with long nails. In wrestling, what we do is we look at the hand, we'll bend it like so, and we'll feel along the fingers. If you can feel the nails need to be trimmed. And the same with the toenails. The scarring isn't so bad, it's part of it, but you could take out an eye, you can really hurt someone pretty bad with your nails, so make sure your nails are trimmed. This one's controversial, and for me, it's not a big deal. But you can't chew gum in my classes because I don't want you choking in the middle of a roll. But some people eat a Tic Tac or beforehand they chew gum, spit it out when they come out to the mat. So try to have a fresh breath. I don't really mind that personally, but it's something that most people consider. I don't really do that. One of the biggest issues we run into though is feet. Usually, if you work outside, you work a job, you get sweaty, your feet are going to stink just a little bit. So I highly recommend that you air them out at least before you come to class. You put flip-flops on when you get in your truck and as you go to class. Usually the smell will dissipate a little bit, but you don't want to come on the mat with stinky feet. You want to make sure that after class, if you have watches, you don't just put them back on and you go home and you sleep with the watch on. That's a good place for like ringworm to start to grow. And I've seen it happen several times where people will get something right here on the wrist, and all that is just ringworm from you're wet, you put something on top of it and you let that grow. Well, it's super contagious and it can spread through your whole school. Is don't show up to the gym sick. Now, this is one of my biggest pet peeves before. Okay, this is a pet peeve before COVID. Now with COVID, it's a big no-no. But don't get your training partner sick. Man, I remember before Worlds, I spent 9 months getting ready for it. And a week beforehand, a student came in sick and I didn't know about it. And this was my year to win it. I was a 4-stripe purple belt. I had trained like a madman. I did 15 comps leading up to it. I was ready to go. Well, the week before she came in and we were rolling, she goes, well, I'm just here because I'm sick and I'm just trying to get it out of me. I was like, no, please don't tell me that's true. Well, I sent her home. 2 days later, I was sicker than a dog. I got so sick, I was coughing blood. I took every single thing I could take to be able to cut the cold, and I wasn't feeling good at all. Well, Worlds came around, and even though I shouldn't have. I was no longer had like fever or anything like that, but I competed. I was so doped up on things just so I wouldn't cough, because it's not so much that for me the cold. I'm really susceptible to bronchitis, and I got sicker than a dog. And I was winning a match against who won Worlds that year. I was winning, and I turned my head to cough, and just out of habit put my hand in my sleeve, and I got my arm broke. And that was that. I lost, and I would have won. I know this is going to sound silly, but even how you shower is important. Usually, and this is something I learned when I coach wrestlers, is that it's important to talk about it all. So let's talk about it. You're going to want to start at the top, wash your head, and then work your way down. Okay? Just wash everything from the top down. Make sure you wash your hands real well, usually before and after practice. Some habits that some schools don't practice, and I don't know why, and even when I was younger, I had schools that didn't do this, is the jiu-jitsu mats need to stay extremely clean. You don't want what's ever on the floor or in the bathroom or outside on the mats. So it's a good habit to make sure you have a sandal or something like that. So what I tell my students is the floor is lava. If your feet touch the floor, guess who's washing their feet? You. You can't let your feet touch the floor and then step onto the mats. The mats need to stay clean, okay? So if you have a sandal, it makes it easier if you have to use the restroom. You should never be caught in the bathroom without sandals on. Matter of fact, I've seen people get kicked out of tournaments because they went off the mats, went into the bathroom with no shoes on. Have shoes on your feet when you get off the mats. And vice versa, and this is common sense, but let's talk about it anyway. If you're walking on the mats, don't walk on the mats without your shoes on. That's a cardinal sin in pretty much any gym, and if you go to a gym where they don't care about that, you might want to look at changing gyms, because it's super important. Skin infection is no joke, okay? And you don't want whatever people have been walking outside, they've been walking in dog crap to maybe fertilizer to whatever it is. You don't want that on your face, okay? Last thing you want is a breakout all over your face. So hygiene is super important in our world, and it's something that's not talked about a whole lot. Your gym should clean every single day. So we're on to the gym now. Your gym should clean every single day, and it should have some type of education for the newer students, letting them know, like, hey, these are the do's and don'ts when it comes to it, because even one mistake where someone walks in the bathroom without their shoes on and they come back out can lead to a whole lot of issues that stay for a long time. Well, that's pretty much all I have for you right now. If I've left something out, put it in the comments down below. If you have questions or you'd like to see a video made, just go ahead and put it in the comments. I usually read them all. Sometimes it's hard to, so I have one video with 250,000 views on another channel. I have 2 channels. And that one blows up and just continues to grow, and I'll get, 100 comments in a day. And that's hard. It's a little harder to keep up with. However, I still try to read everything that I can. If I don't respond, just know that I read it. Well, anyway, I'm the Arizona Silverback, and the more you know.